Hiya there folks, welcome to Camping on a Budget with me, the tight Yorkshireman.
And me, Dawn.
We're camping on a budget, aren't we?
Glamping.
Glamping, yeah.
What do they call it?
Yeah, more glamping, isn't it? Because we've got quite a nice setup here, which we'll show you in a bit. But yeah, basically, we're away for the weekend, not on the boat.
Yeah.
Which felt really weird because we reckon for the first time in about 2.5 years, we've not had to, well, we had to actually pack to go away, didn't we?
Yeah.
Last 2.5 years we're just untied and you've got everything with you.
Yeah,
we had to actually think, oh,
really
do we need
weird.
that?
Do we need that? I forgot that.
So yeah, we've come away for the weekend. You're doing a signwriting course, aren't you?
Yeah.
Today and tomorrow. Today being Saturday, and then tomorrow Sunday. Doing that with Phil Speight. So we're over at Macclesfield, which it took us. Well, in the end, it took us about 3.5 hours to get here yesterday, because we had various delays and things. And we had to stop for some lunch on the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really about sort of an hour and a half from where we're based. So we thought we'd make a weekend of it, come camping. While you're on your course, I've brought the bikes. I'm going to go out on the bike, see what I can find in the area. Because we are quite close to the canal network anyway. There's sort of Bosley Locks are about 1.5 miles in that direction. And then sort of the Macclesfield Canal and everything runs that way. So I'm going to go and have a cycle.
Yep.
You're going to go on your course. But what's first priority, other than his brew that we've already got?
Breakfast.
Breakfast. First job of the day done then, breakfast.
It certainly is.
I even had my black pudding and Lurpak. Lurpak.
Don't shout that too loud.
Can't believe what price a Lurpak these days. But yeah, so we've now got an absolutely massive walk round the corner. All of 30 seconds, and you're at your course, aren't you?
I am.
So don't go in and do a signwriting course, and I'm going to head off, get the bike out.
Yep.
As you can see there, the course was being held in the Silk Museum. So before they got the paint out and started with the signwriting, they were given a little tour around the museum itself. Dawn got a little bit of footage and a few pictures while she was on the tour, but she reckons it's really interesting and definitely well worth a visit. She wasn't so keen on buying her new shoes from there though. We've popped the link to the museum in the description below, so if you fancy giving it a visit, click on that and it'll give you all the information that you need. Well, as you can see from that, I've had about a 10-minute ride and I'm now at Bosley Locks, which in this area of the country is normally a hive of activity, but as you can see it's currently closed. Canal and River Trust, the CRT, are having to do some major works on some of these locks. At the end of the day, these locks are sort of 200 years old, and if we spin it round that way a little bit, you can see the gates are made of wood. Nice solid wood, oak wood, but nonetheless it is wood. And they need replacing on average every 20 to 25 years. So it means from time to time these things have to be closed. I don't think this one was actually a scheduled closure. I think there's been issues with it and they've had to close it to do some sort of emergency repairs. As you see, come down, there's barely any water in the canal at the other side. Flick the camera around. You're definitely not getting a narrowboat down this section. You'd struggle to get a model boat down it. It is obviously a real shame because at the minute we're in the height of summer. There are also issues with the water levels because we've had such a nice dry summer. A lot of places are struggling for water, and again the Canal and River Trust are having to close sections of canal at certain times of day just to try and preserve what water there is. It is a beautiful part of the country. I'm just going to have a little walk down, maybe have a look at the next lock along as well, see how that's looking, then I'll head back up to the bike. I'm going to jump on the bike and carry on up the canal. As I've got to this next lock then, you can see there's barely any water in the canal there. The gate's obviously open, doesn't really matter, there's not enough water going through it to make any issue. And at the far side there you can see what are called stop planks. That's basically if there's an issue with the lock, then those planks can be dropped into that little groove there, and that stops the water entering the lock, which means the lock can be drained and any issues dealt with. But it is a sorry sight to see locks with no water and no boats in them. And if I just pan onto this side, that there is kind of the overflow pound. So any excess water that would normally be in the system would be held in there, ready to refill the lock and carry on down the system. But as it is, with the works and the dry weather, there's not enough water in the canal, never mind filling that excess pound. As I walk back up to the bike, this little section's a good highlight of the issues that can arise after works have been done. Because obviously the water level's so low, all the clay there is dried out and cracked. And even when that's refilled with water, it can take a while before it actually becomes a fully waterproof membrane again to hold that water in the canal. And as you look at the far side, you can see that some of the rocks and things at the edge of the canal have started to fall away. And again, that means once it's full of water, the edge of the canal is then eroding into the actual farmer's field that's there, rather than being held off it by the rocks. And again, over time, that can then mean that the edge of the field collapses and the water has a means of escape. I must say this is an absolutely stunning part of the canal network, and we'd love to bring our boat up here, but we are literally about 3 weeks away via boat from where we moor to getting up onto this section. So that'll be 3 weeks to get up here. Obviously we don't want a bit of time to spend around here, and then 3 weeks back home, and I don't think our bosses would agree to that. So that's something for the future maybe. That there was a little activity put on by the CRT, just encouraging children to learn how to fish correctly. What they do is they encourage the kids to come down, they pair them up with an experienced fisherman from a club. The idea being that the child learns how to fish right, how to bait up properly, how to set the fish off the hook, etc. And encourage good practice for the future. The bridge up ahead is a really clever design. They date back to the times when the narrowboats were towed by horses. There would always be somebody on the towpath with the horse, and using this kind of bridge they could continue up and around and over onto the opposite towpath without having to untie the horse from the boat. As you can see, I had tried to cycle all the way around it, but it's very bumpy. And I quickly gave up on that idea. I had enough trouble getting my bike round there. I can only imagine how dangerous it would have been when you were trying to get a horse that was towing a boat up there, especially in the frosty conditions in the middle of winter. Well, typical of the English weather, just a few days after we've had the hottest day ever recorded, I can now feel a few spots of rain in the air. And I've been cycling for probably about an hour and a half or so now. I think it's time to find a bit of a sheltered spot, pull up and put the kettle on. Well, I found a bridge just off to the side of the canal where I could stop and make my brew. Got my gas burner out and realised I've forgotten the gas. Just be a drink of water then. Well, now I've done kicking myself from not bringing that gas, so I've just had to have that drink of water rather than a nice brew. I'm going to head off. I can go a little bit further, I think, before I need to start looking at heading back. So we'll see how the weather holds up, see where the next stop is. So I've arrived at Bollington and just over to that side, might just about be able to make out the sign. That's the start of Bollington Wharf. There's quite a few boats moored, so I'll just pedal down there. I'm not sure if I can actually get into the wharf or onto that side with being on foot. Let's go and have a nosy, see what we can see. yeah, as suspected, I can't get over to the wharf from this side. And I think now, looking at the time and the weather, just starting to rain again, better start heading back to that campsite so I can get ready to go and meet Dawn and see how she's got on her day sign writing. Thank you. Well, this is one way of avoiding steps. It's about 5 times the distance, but at least I've not had to walk the bike up the steps. We're now going over a major road on a bridge, and I don't like heights. This is not fun. Well, sure enough, a couple of minutes later, and it really has started to rain properly. So out comes the jumper. Unfortunately, I've now cut up onto a cycleway, and then I'm onto the kind of the main roads, so I can get a bit of speed up, not annoying anybody on the towpath, and I can get back to that campsite, get a brew. Well, we're now kind of jumping forward a couple of days, aren't we? Because we've had quite a busy weekend, but the weather's been against us, which has obviously limited what we could film.
Yeah.
And you've been busy doing your course, and obviously you weren't actually going to film in your course because you were there doing a course. But we'll show everyone what you got up to. It's in there in a little while. But where we're staying has been absolutely fantastic.
Oh yeah, second to none.
It's
lovely.
Called High Lane Farm in Gawsworth, just outside Macclesfield. Location wise, it's brilliant for a lot of things because, as you've seen, I've sort of cycled down to the canal. That's only 3 or 4 miles away. There's actually been some other people camping here who were going to a festival at Jodrell Bank. It's all telescopes and things generally there, isn't it? And they were close enough to cycle there from here. And you've obviously got Macclesfield not far away. Well, the place itself is absolutely fantastic. Proper working farm. Shall we have a little look round?
Yeah, shall we?
Well, typically it started to rain again, like it's pretty much done all weekend. But like we said, we did the rent a tent option, which meant that the tent itself was already set up. There is also the option to just bring your own tent, or you can even go whole hog and go glamping, can't you? Full on glamping, where there's a hot tub and things included. But so we kind of went middle of the road, the rent a tent. But as you can see, nice bed, isn't there?
Yeah.
And down the back there's kind of a battery with an inverter, so we've got a little bit of power to charge phones and things like that, haven't we? So really nice setup in there, nice comfy bed.
Probably the best night's sleep we've had for ages, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been really nice.
Yeah.
And then set up next door. Come on, Dawn, come on. Quick, quick, quick. Through the rain, through the rain. We've got this little gazebo set up. A couple of chairs and a table.
And then my department.
And then Dawn's department, cooking. So all this was obviously included for us to use, sort of full-on kitchen, camp kitchen with all the cups and cutlery. So it meant we didn't have to bring anything with us. Down there's a little barbecue. We didn't actually use that, but we could have set the barbecue up and the gas and everything to run that. So it's really good, and it's somewhere, again, as we say, because of the rain, we could sit out and still enjoy the weather, because it's been warm even though it's been raining.
Yeah.
And then what we're going to do now is we're going to dodge right across there to the farm itself, which is where the actual showers and toilets are. So I think it's a case of 3, 2, 1, run. So as we come up into the farmyard, the rain's actually stopped once again. But you can see there's a fire pit that anyone's welcome to use. And then as we come inside, this is obviously some old cattle stall, I'm guessing. But if we go through the door to the left, what have we got in here?
Bathroom, shower.
Yes, shower. Really nice shower. We're really nice and warm, and especially after the rainy days, it were really appreciated. Plenty of room for you to kind of get dry and dressed. And again, harks back to the days when it was I mean, it is still a working farm. I was going to say when it was a working farm, but clearly it's it used to be a much larger working farm, if you like. So yeah, there's them bits there. Just through that door is actually the place is run by a couple called Liz and Stephen, and Liz has a little shop in there, doesn't she?
Yeah.
You know, it's got like the essentials, you know, tea bags and bits and bobs if you've forgot anything or want to top up. Down this way is an area I've definitely not used. The salon. No, but yeah, it's nice. So obviously you can get dressed and dried after your shower. And then we come round this way. And it's a little lounge area, so especially if you've come in your own tent and perhaps the weather's not brilliant, you've kind of got somewhere to sort of sit and stay out the weather sort of thing, rather than being cooped up in a little tent. Over this way, you've got use of kind of the kettle and the sink set up so you can make a brew and wash your pots and things. What the narrowboaters always talk about.
Toilets.
Toilets. We'll have to have a quick look. We'll not go into depth, but exactly what it needs to be. A toilet. And then as we come round this way, we've got, again, use of a dryer and a microwave if you're wanting to do any bits. But potentially the best bit about it is, obviously we're on a farm, and just up there, there's a nest. And I believe it's got some baby swifts in. Let's have a look, see if we can get them from around this side. I can get the camera pointing the right way, you can just see the back of the baby swifts there. Apparently this family of swifts has lived on the farm for sort of 300 years, hasn't it?
Yeah.
The lady was telling us, Liz was telling us, that the farm's been in the family for sort of 300 years, and this same family of swifts keeps returning every year. So yeah, really nice setup here, we're really impressed with it. We'll pop the link to how you can book to come here if you wanted to in the description below. Highly recommended.
100%.
Obviously the main reason we came here though was for you to do this signwriting course with Phil Speight. And you enjoyed it, didn't you?
Oh, it's been amazing.
Yeah,
really.
Because I mean, obviously for people who don't know, you are quite artistic, aren't you? I mean, you paint pictures and things like that, but you've never done signwriting, have you? So, what have you done?
I've learnt my letters.
Yeah, that were kind of, was that sort of
day
day one and sort of into just starting into day two? Obviously, what he's done is you've done each letter in sort of slightly different styles, haven't you? And obviously you were working out how to mark them out and things, weren't you, and stuff like that. So yeah, that was day one. So it was a whole day to do that. It's like being at nursery school.
I know. But each letter represents the full alphabet.
Yeah, you were saying you can kind of tweak them, don't you?
Yeah.
For instance,
you only
sort
need
of
to learn that to be a Q, that well, P to be an
Yeah,
R.
I'm just going to say, like, your P
Yeah.
becomes an R, doesn't
O
it?
becomes a C. It's really clever how he learns that you're, and that becomes a E, and
Yeah.
really good. Really
Yeah,
good.
they say that were day one. Let's move on. Obviously, day two you got onto some trickier letters, didn't you? Because I think you said things like W's. It's all about getting your line in and
Yeah,
things like that.
that
We'll not
is
tell everyone
difficult.
all the secrets because nobody will book onto Phil's course and then he'll come and get us. 'Cause
Yeah.
you say, I mean, obviously Phil lives on a boat and he's been a signwriter sort of all his life, hasn't he?
Yeah,
You know, so it is well worth doing the course.
really good.
But then the big reveal. So this is what you actually did on the day. And it says gloops. Now we're not going to tell anybody what either gloops is, was, does, or any significance as to why you wanted to do that. So drop it in the comments, anybody who knows what gloops is.
Yeah, what it means.
And obviously
What
on the
it
next
was.
video we'll reveal all and sort of explain why you've done that and what have you. But yeah, gloops. But yeah, I mean it looks really good, doesn't it? I mean, at the end of the day, you're not going to be a pro sign writer after
No.
2 days course,
No.
are you? But you kind of, it's learning how to do all the shadowing and things into it and the spacing and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I'm dead pleased with it, to be fair. I really am.
Yeah. I think in 2 days, that's fantastic that you've been able to, like you say, you've learnt the basic skills. It's now a case of going away, practicing, tweaking,
Oh, yeah.
changing,
Yeah.
just adapting. And we've got to go and buy some brushes and things for you, haven't we?
Yeah.
But yeah, it is now, funnily enough,
Bouncing it down.
starting to rain yet again. So, hopefully you've liked the video. Again, not on the actual boat itself, but it's stuff to do with the boating and activities out. Hopefully you're already subscribed to the channel. If you're not, click the subscribe.
Ding the bell.
And we'll see you all next time, back on the boat, and hopefully out of the rain. See you later.
Bye-bye.